What is poppin', my fabulous fire signs? I hope they're all doing okay. I am excited to do these readings here because I'm going to be doing them a little differently like I did yesterday. If you guys have seen my yesterday reading, if you haven't, go ahead and check that out because it may help you understand today. We're going to need all the information we can get because it's spicy season, so it is what it is. It has been what has been, and we're going to be surviving as we usually do and thriving. Shit, we're not gonna hold back. But yes, family, we'll be doing something different. We're just gonna have cards come out, you know, just be itself. You know, let me tap into that energy and let whatever message comes out today. And I'm gonna be starting off with the Oracle card instead. We're gonna do everything in reverse. We're gonna be because we're gonna get retrograded anyway, right? Mercury's coming. I'm gonna be slipping in, stuttering like I already do, but even worse because Mercury's gonna go retrograde. Hopefully my website's gonna be fine with the booking and stuff. Cross our fingers, y'all. But we're going to be doing everything backwards. We're going to be starting off with the Oracle card. Then we're going to be using the clarifying deck that I usually have, with this, which is a ShadowScapes tarot. And we're going to be clarifying, actually, you know, instead of, you know, using as the main message with the Fountain Tarot. So, unfinished symphony fire signs, okay? And I know I didn't even do the usual spiel like I usually do with the whole making sure you know your sun, moon, rising placements, watch those videos, and then if you don't know them already, I have a link for y'all in the description. But I'm pretty sure y'all already, you know, if you don't know your sign, you're gonna figure it out some way. But if you want a quicker options in the description box. But let's get into it, right? Unfinished symphony. That usually talks about a situation that continues to come back up in your life, and it's not done. You're not over. It's not over yet. And I know it's very similar to Never-Ending Story, but Unfinished Symphony specifically says that it's, you know, that this means whatever kind of situation that you've been going through, if you haven't completely finished that out, if you haven't completed that cycle yet, you're not going to, you know, you're not going to see the end of it until it's done. It's going to continue to come back and come back and come back until, of course, you get the situation done. Actually, we're going to take a look at the message itself because ain't nothing wrong with looking at the book sometimes. Okay, as many Oracle cards that I study every day, well, obviously with the 5 I got that y'all already know, I use over and over again, and the, you know, the amount of readings I get, sometimes you forget the meanings, especially when you don't see that kind of meaning for a while. And I'm not gonna act like I don't know. I'm gonna act like I'm just like remember every damn thing. Sometimes I forget. Shit, it's Pisces season. South Node is Pisces. I'm gonna be looking it up. So, unfinished business, an incomplete lesson, lack of closure. Okay, they need to make amends. And that is pretty much what I just said. So I was on point with that. So whatever you guys have been dealing with, exes, situations with a relationship or types of relationships, there's obviously something that you're getting out of it. So don't kick your behind about it. You know what I mean? Don't kick yourself in the butt. Don't be like getting mad at yourself for like, I don't know why I'm getting with these guys or these kind of girls. There's obviously something that you're getting from it. And it's not a bad thing to get whatever you're getting from it. It's just that now it's like saying, if you're tired of being in it, you got to know what's going on first internally with you in order for you to be able to stop it, you know. Sometimes it can be as simple as boundary issues, or it can be as complicated as understanding and making amends with a past situation, even back from childhood. So it can span from a lot of situations, right, fam? So I know I'm talking a lot this time, but I feel like you guys truly like don't mind. So I really appreciate you guys appreciating me communicating, and I appreciate that. I appreciate me talking and talking to y'all and getting a little closer with y'all. Okay, and we got a story we gotta come out. Why do we got the height? Why do we got the underlying? Excuse me. Why do we have the Unfinished Symphony card out? Well, it's because the Emperor, the Four of Cups, the King of Swords. Oh boy, we got some interesting ass cards today. Okay, I feel like actually what I'm gonna do differently because these three combinations today. Definitely kind of making me nervous. Okay, it's just, and it's not really making me nervous. It's just like I need a little more information. You know what I mean? Because the Emperor can talk about feeling powerful, feeling, you know, it's about ego, masculinity, taking control, being stubborn. You know, then the Four of Cups talks about being emotionally stuck. Like you can't get satisfaction. You can never, you feel like you are always going to get bored of a situation, or the situation is no longer going to give you something that you already, you know, that it's not going to give you an enriching and a new experience. You're always going to kind of go with what you know, because one, you don't want to lose that control to go out and feel something new. Because obviously, if you go out and figure, if you know what you feel, know what you want to feel, but you have never experienced it before, you're gonna have to let a part of yourself kind of take that leap of faith, which is in a way losing control, which you're always in control, but it's just like you're gonna have to allow yourself to just kind of be in a situation, experience a situation fresh. And the Emperor don't like experiencing nothing fresh. Neither does the King of Swords. He likes to know everything. He likes to know every situation that happens. So whatever Unfinished Symphony is that you can continue to go back to what you know is going to be the same experience and get annoyed with it because you don't want to lose the control that you have with a situation being similar or being familiar. Which can be so annoying sometimes, right? Personally, because you just want to know that you're gonna be safe, but then at the same time you want to have an experience that ultimately allows you to see something from a different perspective, or to open your heart up to new things, to experience something that you may or hate or may not. Right? It is what it is. Let's see why we get the Emperor falling out. Why we get the Emperor falling out? Why is the Emperor falling out? Because of the Hangman, a change of perspective is needed. Hangman does indicate a change of perspective is needed, or seeing something from a different angle, right? And considering that we just said the stubbornness is one of the things, or doing something familiar, doing something that's routine, because the Emperor does things that he knows that will work, that he knows will get results. He's always going to do what he wants to do, and he's not going to hear anybody else's opinions, because his way is the best way. His way is the only way. Is the way it's been consistent because it helps him rule his kingdom, right? But the Hangman is showing them hey, you ruin your kingdom the way you've been doing it. It's no longer showing the results that you're seeing. So you may have to shake some stuff up. That's hard for the Emperor to do. Aries energy, actually. Aries, you're coming out in this. Okay. We got the Magician for the Four of Cups. Yeah, and then there we go with the confidence level, right? New feelings require new experiences, and that can be nerve-wracking. But the beautiful thing about the Magician is that it reminds us that we always have the tools needed to be able to execute what we want to execute. Never are we ever in a situation where we're not prepared. And the situation keeps reminding us, especially with the Unfinished Symphony coming up, we are always, we have everything we need. We keep going into the situation where we feel like we don't, and then we're reminded that we do have everything we need, because we always go back to the same experiences that remind us exactly what we're going to be looking for. It's like, hey, you're going to go down this road. You know what to expect. You have it already. You're going to go down the other road. You know what to expect because you've done this before. You got all the tools, but you still don't trust yourself to do it. You only trust what knows what will work, instead of trusting yourself to do something differently and to handle yourself accordingly to whatever happens. The biggest thing about Unfinished Symphony is that the loop is constantly, it's securing, but it's also smothering, because you know it's going to work out, you know what's going to happen, but at the same time you still feel like you get nothing out of that experience. And you get, it's reassurance, it's confirmation. It's always going to be confirmation for you forever. But the confirmation is saying that you have the information from this already. You can use it and apply it to other situations when of course it's needed. And that's hard. It's hard. The Unfinished Symphony shows the world on, if you go and look at this globe from the other side where the piano is, you don't know what keys you're going to see. You may see the same keys, you may see some different keys, you may see somebody playing the piano all this time. But the unknown is not meant to be scary. It's supposed to be inspiring, and you to pull out your creativity instead of letting it just be in a certain way all the time for you, right? So let's see where the King of Swords comes out. Gee whiz, that's a lot of cards that come out for the King of Swords. Temperance. The Sun. The Queen of Wands. All right. Two of Cups. The Two of Pentacles. The Moon. And the Wheel of Fortune. And I'm going to put this Wheel of Fortune right here next to the Unfinished Symphony because it's practically the same thing, right? But it's not really practically the same thing. It's pretty much Unfinished Symphony is talking about a situation that hasn't been complete yet, while the Wheel of Fortune is showing that new opportunities come in. I think you hit that peak, though. I'm reading the Unfinished Symphony like it's the Wheel of Fortune. I had a feeling the Wheel of Fortune was going to come out, and it did. But the reason why the King of Swords comes up has got a long-ass backstory. Fire signs, what's happening? So, the reason why you have the King of Swords coming up is not just only because, you know, you are aware of your control because of a certain way you've been handling it, and it may need to change in order for things to come in, right? In order for new experiences to be experienced, in order for your feelings or whatever you want to feel to happen, there's got to be a new approach, a new perspective, a new way of seeing it, and honestly having confidence in yourself that you can do anything in every situation, even if you don't even know what's coming. And that's the hard part, because the King of Swords knows everything. I think you guys are very much, you know, you guys are confident because of what you know, or what you're, you know, based off your intellect. And it's, you know, fire signs, your energy is the King of Wands, not the King of Swords. And that King of Swords energy is very logical and not emotional. And the King of Wands is basing all of his fuel, his passion, his fire from an emotional place. You're not the King of Cups, but you're the King of Wands, because you take what you feel and put it into action. You guys are thinking before you act. And that is very weird, because you guys are good at making things, you know, improvising. You're better at improvising than most people, because you guys know that you guys can handle the situation, because you can think on the spot, because you guys can, you know, work things out in the moment, because you're coming from a genuine place. You're in the present, you're in the moment. But when you start thinking ahead, when you start thinking of things through, which is not a bad thing sometimes, but when you start thinking too much, you start to get in the way of your emotions. You start to get in the way of how things would have naturally turned out if you had just trusted how you guys are already. Because you have all the gifts needed to handle any situation that comes in. You guys are like the jack of all trades in a way. You know, whatever goes down, you got it. Whatever goes down, you got it. Whatever goes up, you got it. But you don't, you know, it's about reminding yourself of being that flexible. You know, you're not allowing yourself to be flexible. You got a lot of fixed-ish kind of energy, especially when the Four of Cups and the King of Swords. Those two are very fixed to me, because they're not open to things coming in. The King of Swords is not very open. He's very structured. He's very, you know, secure. He's fixed. He's Aquarius. And that's weird, because Aquarius is all about changes and things like that, but he's secure in the change that he creates. You know, he's in control of the changes that he's creating. And you've got to remember that the King of Swords, you know, that could be you too, in the sense of you are in control of the changes that you create. But at the same time, that understanding of knowing that you can control whatever happens because you make it that happen can kind of make it hard for you to be open to things happening that's not necessarily in your control. And you don't know what to do, or don't know what to do immediately. And it's okay, because you learn through experiences. But the situation is this too. You have the Wheel of Fortune. You're not going into any situation blind. You have experience. You have their inner guidance system to be your guide. But most importantly, whatever rodeo you keep running into, or whatever situation you keep running into that you may like say, nah, I don't know how that works, or, you know, maybe avoiding it because it's not, you know, you're comparing it to other situations thinking it's going to be the same thing. You know, you got to do it something differently, and that may be, you know how, you know, the only thing that you know with the Wheel of Fortune is that you have been through something similar before, which was trusting yourself. And whatever you're going to do differently this time around, whether it is the introduction of a brand new experience that you've never experienced before, or this is, you know, something that looks like it's going to get you, you know, going to be the same old thing, you have to trust that you're going to get what you want to feel out of it, not what you already have been experiencing out of it. Now, Temperance talks about, you know, harmony and balance and all that, right? It's wonderful energy. It talks about a good, you know, a positive flow, you know, within yourself, not overextending, just keeping things relevant in your area, not overextending, or no, not overindulging in one area and not overexpending yourself in another. Just kind of keeping up a good balance and a flow. And I feel like the reason why is because you guys have been doing things in a very balanced way, a very harmonious way that hasn't really been showing any fraction, right? Any friction. Most of that's having to do with waiting for something. So you guys, you're not taking any chances, you're not going in a different direction because you're waiting on something else. And that waiting is the potential for great happiness with somebody called somebody that's the Queen of Wands, which could be a female or male. It doesn't have to be anybody, any sex specific. But this is who this person is, someone that you see as your other half. You see this person as your potential. So you guys are like keeping things in a situation right now that's continuously in a one cycle, one loop, because you're waiting for somebody to come into your life that you feel is your person, or you guys are hoping that the person will come into your life, but you have to take a leap of faith. You got to do something different. You have to change you have to change you up, your cycle, your flow, because it's just going to continue to perpetuate the current issue, which is unfinished symphony, something that's reoccurring. And that's it's interesting because this Two of Cups is obviously the person that you feel very tight, not very, very close to. You feel like you guys see each other very, very intimately, in the sense of, being very similar and having the same mindsets, having the same, feelings about things. You guys feel the same way about each other even. But the Two of Pentacles is also about weighing different options. It's almost now that you may have an option here that's not necessarily how you would, how you can expect it to go. But again, like I always say with the Two of Pentacles, you're not going to ever be able to make a decision about which one is the most valuable until you know how you feel, and how you want to feel, and how you, how you can potentially, dedicate yourself to getting that very offer, or whatever pentacle you're juggling, that you decide eventually to be how you want it to, how to make it feel how you want it to feel. Because you are a creator. But ultimately, right, there's no way to know because the moon is coming up here too. It's just crazy, all these cards that come out. But they tell us stories like whatever you guys are doing right now, it's to hesitate because you're waiting for something that you believe will be better than where you are. And you guys can create anything that you want. You have everything that you need to be and to feel however you want to feel and to be whoever you want to be. But it may be different than the plans you've expected. It may be different than how you guys wanted to go down. But it doesn't mean that there's not a potential for something to come back up. It doesn't mean that there's no potential for you to reconnect with the next. There may not be, that doesn't mean that you won't reconnect with somebody that may actually be another Queen of Wands for you, another soulmate in your life. So it's like denying something that is a gift from the universe because you don't, either you don't trust what comes in, or, you're just so adamant about this one person. Of course, you're allowed to live your life however you want to, but there's a lot of possibilities that you don't have to reject and that you can be happy with. But you have to trust that you can be happy with those things because you can get yourself to being happy with those things. And because that's what you want. It's crazy, this message, but I'm going to let y'all go. I've been rambling for like 20 minutes now. Almost 20 minutes to 17 minutes. So I'm going to let you be. Get back to your day. Thank you so much for taking the time out to watch these, family. I love you. And I will see you guys very soon, alright? Take care, alright? Take care. Bye, guys.